Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Support for the community programming provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6 o'clock. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and back from sunny Florida, sunny, warm Florida, is our producer and chief engineer, Pete Coles. Welcome back, Pete.
Good morning. Cloudy and windy and warmer than here, but that's about it.
Okay, I was going to say it had to have been warmer than here, Pete. It was like 10 below the other day, the other morning.
Right.
Yeah, we had some really icy. And where were you in Florida? So give us some reference here, because we are hearing we're hearing reports that it's chilly down there. But where were you?
Because of the snowstorm.
Yes.
We, instead of flying into West Palm Beach like we originally wanted to on Sunday, we had the only flight we could get was to Orlando on Saturday.
Right.
So we did that, and then we stayed in the airport.
Yeah.
Because it was just easier.
Yep.
We took Brightline down to West Palm Beach to pick up our car.
Yep.
Because it literally would have cost more to rebook the car.
Yeah. Right.
Than it would have to
Crazy.
2 premium train tickets.
Yeah.
And nearly the hotel.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know.
So we picked up our car, and then our first stop was Key Largo.
Okay.
2 nights in Key Largo, which were the warmest 2 days of the trip.
And give us a reference, like how warm
Close
was
to
it?
80.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
now, was that
warm.
when Christy was swimming with the dolphins?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. It was I went in the pool, and then so that was Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
Tuesday morning we drove to Key West, where it was 60 and about 20 mile an hour wind, so it felt like 40.
Yeah.
And I packed for 70.
Well, I've been to Key West once in my life, and that was just pre-pandemic, whatever it was, like 2018 or something like that. And when we were in Key West, Pete, which was in February, it was over February vacation, it was Gary, Grace, and me, and it was 41.
Yeah.
And they were freaking out because, in Key West, half the
Everything's
restaurants,
outdoor.
everything's outdoor.
Yep.
And so we're trying to find a place to eat and there were a few places that had like portable heaters, but not a lot.
Right.
And they were very concerned about their homeless population. They didn't have blankets for them. I mean, it was crazy.
We couldn't find a winter hat.
Yeah. And it was windy, as you said. It's really windy down there. Yeah.
Well, because the storm you got up here trailed down there.
Yes.
The low trailed, and that brought all the wind with it.
Yeah.
And so it was cold down there, and we made the best of it. I mean, we found places to eat and things like that. And my problem is I went from a hotel bed to hotel bed to hotel bed, and my back was like a pretzel.
Yeah. Yep.
So there was a day where I was just like, I can't walk.
I can't move.
We had thought about we had rented scooters, and I finally said to Christy, I'm like, after day 1 down, we spent 3 days in Key West. Mm-hmm. Take the scooter yourself.
Yeah.
I'll get in the car because thankfully the car had lumbar support.
Yep.
So I'd get in the car and drive around, and I feel a little better.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd start feeling better,
Yeah.
So we ate in some great restaurants.
Good.
Overall, I had a good time down there.
Good.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Oh my God!
No, it's very
like I've done it.
expensive.
Check it off the bucket list. I'm not going back.
Yeah, same for me. I was just like, okay, and we stayed at like this little. It was sort of an inn or a bed and breakfast. Karen Noblet had recommended it, and it was a little outside of town, but walkable. Like we could walk to town. It was a hefty walk, but that's okay. And all good. That was great, but same thing, Pete. I was like, okay, been there, done that. I'm done.
Right, like one of the guys, John Shaver, right? He used to be the CFO at Noble Hospital. You probably know him.
That was I think before my time. I know of him.
He retired in the last couple of years. He was down there, and we tried to meet up with him, but every time we tried to meet up, we'd like pass like ships in the night.
Yeah.
But so we did. They have like a thing they just opened up down there. It's called the Key West Cooking School or something. And they have like a live demo where you can, pay to get a meal, and they cook local dishes.
Oh, they do it okay.
They cook it there. They show you how to do an example of the dish. Then they feed you the dish. So, but they give you recipe cards and things like that. So
that sounds fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And they give you the history of the island a little bit as they're doing it. So that was cool.
That sounds like that would be something that I would love. An experiential kind of hands-on thing.
Right, and I wasn't paying $70 to do the the Hemingway house. They went like $70 to walk through that house.
I know. We walked by it and waved.
I'll drive. The Truman White House, I saw that. That kind of thing. And then we saw a couple sunsets on the pier and things like that. They had like a festival going on down there. So, just different things.
Yep.
Found some cool places along the way. I went to the southernmost Dairy Queen.
Well, the funny thing is the whole reason that we had chosen Key West was because we wanted to do something, we wanted to go someplace warm. This was when Grace was a paraprofessional in the Westfield school, so she had the school vacation
week.
Right,
the week off, yeah.
Right, and I said to Gary, I want to go warm, but I don't want to go out of the country. I just didn't feel like going through the whole, passport customs and all that. So Gary said, okay, well, we'll go to Key West. It's as far south as you can get in Florida. He had been there before, and he said, and so we were all excited, and, we get down there, and it was, cooler. I mean, obviously warmer than it was up here.
Yep.
Just as you said. And then there were and I think we were down there for like 5 days, something like that.
Yep.
And same thing. And then it dipped. I will never forget that because the headlines were, 41 degrees. It's like the coldest it's been in the last, 27 years or some crazy
The coldest in 15 years.
Yeah.
As we were leaving.
Yeah.
Some of my friends on there like, shut the door on your way out, will you? But the thing is where I knew the southernmost buoy to be, they're rehabbing that whole area.
Uh-huh.
And so it's closed off. So they moved the buoy, or they made a replica buoy in Truman Park, which is down the street.
Okay.
So like I told Christy, I'm like, that's not where the point is. It's like a couple streets over there.
Yeah.
So I drove her by it. They have it in case so people don't try climbing the fence to get in to take a picture.
Sure.
But I'm like, where that thing is enclosed in plywood, that's where the buoy is.
There you go.
That's where the concrete buoy is.
Yep, there you go.
But and so then we the last 2 days we came back up to we drove the highway again.
Yeah.
And we came back up to West Palm Beach and stayed the last 2 nights in West Palm Beach.
And how was that? What was the weather like there, Pete?
It was still cold because it was now the whole state was cold.
Yeah.
But we did see them. They have a manatee, like a. I don't know if you call it like not a refuge, but like a science center around the manatees, because Florida Light and Power found that the manatees congregate in the outlet of their power plant, the water outlet.
Really?
Because it's warm water.
And
it's winter.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, it's a free source of warmth. We're taking it.
Yep.
So they developed a science foundation. They
cool.
started a science foundation, and for their power plants in the Florida area, they have like a whole 2-story science center talking about manatees and the history and the fish that you can see in the outlet. That would be interesting.
I love manatees.
So that was cool. So they have a first floor and a second floor viewing deck, and you can see them right at the outlet. It's a pretty good sized pool of the water coming out of the power plant, the warm water. Nice. There's like 100 manatees hanging out there.
Wow. That would be very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they go out feeding for a while, and then they come back and just hang out in the warm water. Mm-hmm. And there are like tons of them. They're everywhere.
Nice.
And then we met up with Kenny.
Oh, you did? I thought Kenny was on a cruise.
Well, he was in between cruises. So I was like...
He's living the dream, I gotta tell you.
I told Christy, I'm like, I think he's here in town. I'm like, let's play. Where in the world is Kenny Stomsky?
Yeah, right.
So we called him and we convinced him he's had like 2 days between cruises.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's go to lunch. Let's just go do lunch somewhere. And we had a gift card to Cheesecake
Factory.
Factory.
Where was he? I mean,
he was in his hotel room.
Oh, okay. So, but
he was in West Palm Beach.
he was
like
in
us.
West Palm. Oh, well, duh.
He was like 5 minutes from where we were with the manatee thing, and I'm like,
What?
let's go to lunch. We're doing lunch. I wanted to drag him out of the hotel room because I know Kenny.
Oh,
He'll just get his like public subs and hang out there for 4 or 5 days and edit and not come out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, you're coming out with us.
Okay.
Ended up giving him content. If you go on Ken Den's film, you'll see that how I kidnapped him and how he made a video out of it.
Of course they did.
It's funny.
Yeah, I bet
it's
it is.
It's very funny.
I bet it is.
It's very funny.
Fun.
So we had lunch with Kenny, and then we just kind of hung out for the last day. And then the thing was, we had a really early flight Sunday morning.
Well, I know, because when I texted you, I
a.m.
felt terrible about texting you. I was like, oh, Pete's on vacation. I don't really want to ask him. And I thought, well, if he doesn't want to or he can't do it, he's just going to say, no, sorry, Tina. No, I'm on vacay.
Right. So the thing was, we returned. We were trying to find out if our hotel had a shuttle to the airport because our flight's at 6:40. The car rental place doesn't open till 5. So, all right. So here we go. So the hotel did have a shuttle. You paid $10.
Okay.
But the only time they could bring us was 4 a.m.
Well, you had said you had to be ready at like 4 a.m. I'm thinking,
right.
Good Lord.
Get to the airport. Southwest doesn't open till 5.
Oh, God.
So we're sitting there. We're the first ones there, sitting there looking at there's nobody in the terminal.
Oh, yeah.
Now other people start showing up for our flight to Baltimore.
Yeah.
There's like 30, 40 people. Still nobody at the counter. None of the kiosks are on because nobody's there yet. So we had to keep telling people, yeah, they're not open. Yeah, they're not open. So made it through security and all that kind of stuff. And then we were worried about our connections because of the storm.
Yeah.
Well, as it's trending further and further out to sea, I'm like, we'll make it home.
Yeah.
But it was windy coming home.
Was it? No, you flew into Baltimore and then Baltimore to Bradley?
Correct, because we were flying Southwest.
Yeah.
So Baltimore is the hub for Southwest.
I know, which is great for us. Gary's in California right now, coming back tomorrow, and he to get out there, he had to fly to Baltimore to Baltimore and then Baltimore to Vegas and then Vegas to whatever airport because he wasn't flying into a big airport, so there were limited connections. He's concerned about coming back tomorrow because he has to fly through Denver, which is not a problem, but he said, he has like less than an hour between flights.
Yeah, I hate that.
And he could not figure out how to redo, because as it is, he's coming in at like midnight. Right. So, yeah, it's going to be. So he finally said, you know what, Tina? He said, because, he looked into
if I make it, I make it. If I don't.
Right. And he said the airport he was considering, because he has a friend who lives out there, a neighbor from growing up, who said, oh, yeah, I'm whatever she is.
If worse comes to worse, yeah.
Yeah, she said, oh, no. She said, you're welcome to stay with me. And so he looked into that. He said, I would have stayed overnight. But he said he wanted to store his luggage at the airport, and they didn't have any of that because he has his golf clubs with him. And he's like, I'm not humping those all over the place. So that became the big. So he said, you know what? Exactly, Pam. I'm going to chance it. If I miss it, I'm sleeping in the airport overnight, and I'll see you on Friday.
Going down, I think we had a 50-minute layover.
That's about what he's got.
And then coming back, it was an hour and a half.
Well, he was fine going. He had 3 hours in Baltimore and I think 2 hours in Vegas. And so his flight from Bradley was a half hour late, but he said it didn't matter. I had 3 hours in Baltimore, so now I had 2.5. I mean, he wasn't worried about that. So, and I said to him, even if you make the flight from Denver here, your luggage may or may not. So he said, you know what? At this point, he said, we'll see what happens. I'm semi-retired. I get back when I get back. It's not like I have a business meeting that I have to be to the next morning. So
yep. Anyway. So overall, it was a good trip.
Good.
I think I would have rather have done a cruise.
Well, and good to know for the next time, kind of thing.
Well, we weren't sure her passport was going to get here in time.
Yeah.
Because she had to do the name change thing.
Oh yes.
And it was a gamble. She had paid for the expedited, and we were going to book the cruise. she's I don't want to book the cruise. And
I know.
I
get it. I get it. So yeah, absolutely.
This is on our bucket list as well.
Yep. Okay. So check that one off. And
for the amount of money we spent, I would have rather done the cruise.
Well, and Pete, it's good to know for the future.
Yeah. Well, I really illustrated that to her how much value you get for a cruise.
Yeah.
You might think you don't, but you do.
Yep, absolutely. Now, speaking of cruises, so Kenny is currently on a cruise, right?
Yeah, he's on Margaritaville at sea again.
Okay.
He's trying out one of the ships they just refurbished.
Okay. Good to know.
So go watch his videos.
I was going to say, I mean, if you want to do a cruise, for God's sakes, ask Ken Stomsky. I mean, I think the guy's been like all over the place and like on different cruise lines and all of that.
Yeah,
he's
getting invites for different things.
I know. He has a great gig going. I don't know how he fell into this, but it's working.
Well, he gave up Vegas.
Oh.
He used to go to Vegas.
Oh, I know.
For kind of warmer over the winter type thing.
Yep.
And he said, because he wanted to retire there, and he said the real estate's going nuts out there.
Okay.
So he's kind of given up on Vegas. He's thinking about Florida to retire to once he finally gets out. I don't think Kenny will ever leave this state, but who knows? He may end up retiring to a cruise ship.
Yeah,
you never know with Kenny.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's got the flexibility. So what the heck? I love it. Yep. We're all living vicariously through Kenny right about now. So
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, right? All right. It is 6:15. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. Let's take a break. In honor of the fact that we are now into February, we're going to listen to Josh Groban singing February Song, and we'll be back.
Is that old friend gone, lost in a February song? Tell him it won't be long till he opens his eyes. Where is that simple day before colors broke into shades? How did I ever fade into this life? Where is that old friend gone? Lost in a February song. Tell him it won't be long till he opens his eyes. Opens his eyes.
Support for community programming provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. Visit bettsplumbing.com or 14 Coleman Avenue, Westfield. Public welcome.
Where will the superintendent spotlight shine next? Join Stefan Zaporowski and Chris Rogers every Thursday at 9 a.m. to find out. 107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:20. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board and our chief engineer, who's back from vacation, Pete Coles. Welcome back, Pete, again.
And now officially older.
And now older. That's right. You had a birthday.
I'm 55 now.
I totally forgot about that. That's right. You're a January baby. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Our famous birthday. So was your birthday while you were in Florida? I can't remember the
date.
Yeah,
the 28th.
I know it's the end of the month.
Right in the middle of the week.
I know it's at the end of the month. Ah, so that was part of the impetus for the getaway, huh? A little birthday present there.
Yeah, we tried to schedule something around my birthday.
Yeah,
and it was also
nice.
when we could get a dog sitter.
Yes. The important things in life. When can we find someone to watch the dog?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
Yeah, well, it is. It's funny because I have a woman in my in one of my support groups who is trying to plan a trip overseas, and she said the same thing. She said, "Okay, well, I got to find somebody to watch the dog." And I think her sister normally would do that. And she said, just need to make sure these dates coincide with whatever she has planned in her world for the spring. So
absolutely,
yeah, so that is important. All right, so let's do this. February has a lot of awareness observances, and one of them is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And these statistics and this problem is disturbing, to say the least. But let's talk a little bit about dating abuse. Dating abuse is a pattern of destructive behaviors that exerts power and control over a dating partner. And if you don't think this happens, the statistics are, as I said, really disturbing. While we define dating violence as a pattern, that doesn't mean the first instance of abuse is not dating violence. It just recognizes that dating violence usually involves a series of abusive behaviors over a course of time. Teen dating violence is more common than many people think. 1 in 3 teens in the United States will experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse by someone they are in a relationship with before they become adults. And nearly half, 43% of college women report experiencing violent and abusive dating behaviors. Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month aims to educate young people on the prevalence of dating violence and how they can prevent it. And, I have to say, when the studio, we used to use the studio over at Westfield State University. And I remember using the restroom there, and there were flyers everywhere about, teen violence in the ladies' room, and, just the fact that it's a thing, it's real, don't put up with it, and there are resources, and report it, and so forth. So, what are the warning signs of abuse? And this goes not just for teen violence, but this obviously goes for domestic violence as well. So, if the partner or the dating partner is checking your phone, your email, or social media accounts without your permission, if the person is putting you down frequently, especially in front of other people, if the person, and again, we see this a lot with domestic violence, if the person is isolating you from friends or family, and that could be physically, financially, or emotionally, extreme jealousy or insecurity, explosive outbursts, temper or mood swings, any form of physical harm, possessiveness or controlling behavior, or pressuring you or forcing you to have sex. All of those are your warning signs of abuse. Relationship abuse is all about power and control. And while you may be unwilling or unable to leave your relationship right now, it is important to remember that abusive partners are unlikely to change their behavior. And we hear that from partners all the time. Oh, it was just a bad day, or he's having trouble on the job, or she. I mean, this goes both ways. It goes both ways. Absolutely. This is not just male dominated, but a lot of excuses. And it was just this one time. But the fact is that it tends to be a pattern, and they don't change. And while 80% of teenagers think abuse is a serious issue for people their age, only 33% of teens who were in an abusive relationship ever told anyone about the abuse. What's worse is that half of teens who experience dating violence or rape attempt suicide. So what you can do about it? Well, teen dating violence is a big problem. We know that. Not only is this issue widespread, but the effects are also far-reaching. You can do something to change these statistics and teach others about this epidemic. All month long, during the month of February, we're challenging people like you across the country to start conversations about the difference between healthy and unhealthy dating behaviors. It is known that 3 in 4 parents have never talk to their children about domestic violence. In light of these alarming facts, every year during the month of February, advocates join efforts to raise awareness about dating violence, highlight promising practices, and encourage communities to get involved. There are many resources available to provide information and support to victims and assist service providers and communities to decrease the prevalence of dating violence among young people. It's not okay. I think that part of it is an age thing, and they think this is what it's all about, and this is the normal, this is what happens, and it's not. The National Dating Abuse Helpline provides 24-hour national web-based and telephone resources to help teens experiencing dating abuse. Young people, as well as concerned friends, parents, teachers, clergy, law enforcement, and service providers anywhere in the country can call toll-free. That number is 1-866-331-9474, or you can log on to the interactive website, and the website is easy. It's loveisrespect.org. All one word, loveisrespect.org, and receive immediate confidential assistance. It's a problem. Let's admit that it's a problem, and let's be a part of the solution. All right, let's take a short break on that one, and then we got lots of announcements to do. We have lots of other awareness days, but in light of Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, we're going to listen to Shania Twain singing Black Eyes, Blue Tears. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15, and we'll be back.
Black eyes, I don't need 'em. Blue tears, give me freedom. Oh yeah. Positive, never
Underwriting for the community programming is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM, WSFD.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM, WSFD-LP, Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:32. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this first hour with Pete Coles. Pete is our producer and our chief engineer. So good morning again, Pete.
Good morning.
He's back from Florida, getting used to the more than frigid temperatures than he had down there.
Yes.
Chilly for Florida, but, you know, it's all relative, Pete, right?
He went from let's go out and start the car to let the car warm up for 15 minutes.
Right, exactly. That's about it. Second hour, just to let you know, Carol Palmer will be joining us. Carol joins us on the first Wednesday of the month for our Live Your Best Life segment. And we also have student intern Anna Collier will be with us. Anna is interning at the Senior Center this semester. She's a graduate student in occupational therapy. So we're going to talk about a research project that Anna is working on that involves some seniors, and we're going to invite some folks to participate in that. So we'll talk about that second hour. February is National Children's Dental Health Month. And this is sponsored by the American Dental Association. This month-long National Health Observance reinforces the importance of oral health in children, as well as helping parents with tips to keep their child's smile on track. So, and I know this is a big thing because when my daughter takes my granddaughter to the pediatrician, and Charlie's just a little over 2 now, 2.5, they've sent back a lot of flyers and information on reminding parents to pay attention to dental health. First tooth, first birthday, first dental visit. So new parents will often ask, well, when should my child first see a dentist? The Dental Association says it's never too early to start focusing on your child's oral health. The American Association of Pediatric Dentists recommends that parents establish a dental home for their child by their first tooth or their first birthday. During this time, parents and guardians will have the opportunity to ask questions and address any dental concerns at the primary visit, and the dentist will gently swab the child's mouth to check their gums and any erupted teeth. As a child starts teething, the dentist will be able to monitor their progress and implement preventative measures for any concerns with your baby's teeth. Baby teeth are so important because of their key role of saving space for a child's permanent teeth. They stay in the child's mouth for 8 to 10 years and also affect their speaking, chewing, and of course, smiling. Baby teeth can also indicate a child's overall quality of health, not just their oral health, but their overall health. Untreated tooth decay can cause oral infections that enter the bloodstream and lead to other serious health problems while also allowing bacteria to spread to new adult teeth. While daily brushing is an important part of a child's oral hygiene routine, bacteria that causes tooth decay can still linger between teeth where the toothbrush can't reach. That's why it's important to help your children to incorporate flossing into their daily routine. And I'm trying to figure out how you do that, like with a 2-year-old. I'm not sure. We got the brushing thing down now. You know, she's got that, but I'm not sure how we're going to do the flossing thing. But we'll try. One significant oral health risk for infants and young children under the age of 1 is from baby bottle tooth decay. This occurs when your child consumes sugary liquid and bacteria in their mouth consume the sugar and produce acid. This acid attacks the enamel on baby teeth and can trigger tooth decay after continued exposure. Now, it's interesting because the liquids that contribute to this condition include milk, formula, fruit juice, soda, and any other sweetened drinks. If your child needs to sleep with a bottle, water is the safest option without any risk of decay. So tips for maintaining your child's oral health: schedule routine checkups. If it's been more than 6 months since your child has seen a dentist, schedule an appointment as soon as possible. Clean your baby's gums daily. Until those teeth come in, gently wipe a damp washcloth over the gums to clear away any harmful bacteria after each feeding. Start brushing with the first tooth. Begin brushing your baby's teeth when you see one coming in with an infant toothbrush. Use water and a tiny bit of fluoride toothpaste, literally about the size of a grain of rice. Brush twice each day for 2 minutes. Children ages 2 to 6 should use a pea-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste. Always supervise your children younger than 6 years old while brushing, as they are more likely to swallow toothpaste. Begin flossing. Once your child's teeth touch, you can start flossing in between them. Snack healthy. We've talked about this with Jen Jafune on the show, our resident registered dietitian. Fruit juice, sports drinks, fruit snacks, and sticky candies all pose serious threats to your child's health. Give children calcium-rich snacks like cheese or low-sugar yogurt. If you have to resort to candy, a chocolate bar is actually preferable to gummy or sticky sweets that can get lodged in between the teeth even after brushing. And keep children hydrated. Avoid sugary drinks and stick to good old-fashioned water. Water helps to rinse away any sugar or particles that can lead to cavities. Many municipal water sources also contain fluoride, which is recommended by the American Dental Association and the U.S. Surgeons General, among others, as an efficient way to prevent tooth decay. Replace your child's toothbrush every 3 to 4 months. And I think you're actually, even as an adult, I think you're supposed to do that every 3 to 4 months. So happy National Children's Dental Health Month, something to pay attention to. February is also National Library Lovers Month. So National Library Lovers Month is dedicated to the people who love whole buildings devoted to reading, housing, organizing, one of my favorite words, categorizing, another great word, finding, studying, and otherwise loving books. Libraries provide so much more than a place for us to just enjoy great novels or to discover amazing adventures in untold history. Yes, they help us to ace our research papers and provide a quiet space to study. However, they do so much more. Libraries provide educational entertainment for preschoolers. They offer theater, activities, music, art, and friendship. Many communities rely on their libraries for meeting space for public forums, schools, socials, fundraisers, and classes. They provide resources for researching family and community heritage. Libraries lend other media, not just books, but movies and music, and they offer digital resources for the entire community to use. Now, because we live in Westfield and we don't have a library, we have an Athenaeum. And I have to admit, full disclosure, that before I started working in Westfield, I had never heard the word Athenaeum, and I didn't even know what an Athenaeum was. So for all of you people like me who isn't quite sure about this Athenaeum thing, I looked up what the difference is between a library and an Athenaeum. So an Athenaeum is a type of library, often older and membership-based, that emphasizes communal learning, culture, and discourse beyond just books. An Athenaeum functions as a hybrid library, club, and cultural center with lectures, art, and discussion. A library is a broader term for a collection of books and resources, typically focused on public access, though many modern libraries also host events. The key difference lies in the Athenaeum's historical role as a private, exclusive forum for intellectual and social gathering, evolving from ancient Greek temples to 19th century societies compared to the more general public library model. So here are some key characteristics of Athenaeums. Origin. They were named after Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, symbolizing temples for learning. Structure. Often independent, private, member-supported institutions. Services. Combine library access with cultural activities like art exhibits, which we certainly see in our Athenaeum, lectures, again, concerts, again, and spaces for debate and socializing. And all of those things happen at the Westfield Athenaeum. And collections. Oftentimes, Athenaeums feature rare books, historical documents, and unique artifacts beyond just new publications. We see all of that. The key characteristics of libraries, the focus is primarily on providing access to books, media, and information, often for the general public. Accessibility is generally open to all, though some may have specific research collections. And then services, libraries offer reading spaces, borrowing, digital resources, and educational programs with increasing focus on community engagement. I think more and more we're seeing that from our libraries, not just our Athenaeums. So there you go. If you love books, if you love all of that and just, snuggling up in a corner, February's for you, National Library Lovers Month. All right, I want to do a couple of announcements. Well, first of all, I mentioned that I had texted Pete while he was away on vacation. So we had to postpone our swing band performance on Sunday because so many of the members had gotten sick. And, you need a bunch of people when you have a swing band because you need at least one, if not more, instrument playing.
Types, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a whole big thing. And I apologize for the late notice. I didn't get the call until Friday morning, and they did call me first thing Friday morning to let me know. So we immediately, Friday was a busy day at the senior center. That was good. We had gift card bingo. We had, our breakfast. So we made the announcement all day long. We had signs up everywhere. We put signs on the stanchion. And we asked people to spread the word. We put it on our Facebook page, and I asked Pete to scroll it on Channel 15, which he did. So thank you to Pete. And I did go down on Sunday, put the stanchion outside, and I actually pushed it way out so that if people drove in and they saw an empty parking lot, what's going on, they didn't even really have to get out of their car. They could drive to the front door, and there was this big lime green sign that, says we apologize. And I think right now, the band is actually, because they've just had all kinds of stuff going on there, I think they're taking a bit of a hiatus. We were hoping that we could postpone it till March, but I think it's actually going to be a future date beyond that. So stay tuned, and I'll keep people posted. But Pete, thank you for posting that from Florida. I just found out yesterday about this really great workshop that actually starts today. So I want to make sure, again, this is one that I put it up everywhere. This is through Highland Valley Elder Services. They're offering a workshop, which they've offered before. We've actually done this series. It's a 6-week series, and we've actually done it a couple times at the Senior Center. And I didn't know that they were going to be running it. They just dropped all the flyers off to me yesterday. It's called Living Well with Long-Term Health Conditions. It's a 6-week workshop series on Wednesdays. It starts today from 10 to 12:30. It'll go from February 4th to March 18th. This one is Zoom only, so this is a virtual workshop. Take charge of your health with this free evidence-based self-management workshop originally developed at Stanford University. Oh, they're saying it's 7 weeks. I thought it was 6. This is a 7-week workshop that teaches practical skills to manage chronic conditions and improve daily well-being. Join engaging virtual sessions to build confidence, boost healthy habits, and stay motivated. Perfect for anyone living with or caring for someone with a chronic condition. So you can contact Highland Valley Elder Services. The flyers are up at the Senior Center. There's more, and they partnered with Access Care Partners. So I do have a phone number. It's 413-538-9020, extension 650. I did, and I talked to Tegan over at Highland Valley Elder Services, who called me to make sure that I had gotten the flyer. She dropped them off, and I was tied up with something. And I said, I did. I said, I wish you had told me sooner. I would have had you on the show and, all this other stuff. And I guess what happened was there are a limited number of slots, and last minute they had several people drop out. I'm not going to be able to do it. So that opened up some slots. But she also said to me, she said, honestly, Tina, the first week, today's session is more of just a, sort of a kind of a gathering, getting our act together. They're not really going to dive into the substance of it until next week. So she said, even if people don't make this first one, there's going to be a lot that they're going to be covering over the next 6 weeks. So if you would like more information, if you can't remember any of those numbers, again, the flyers are up at the Senior Center, or just give me a call at the Senior Center. I'll give you the information. Our number is 562-6435. So this is really a terrific workshop. And they probably didn't tell me about it sooner because I would have tried to convince them to do it at the Westfield Senior Center, which they've done before. Also, Lynn Landry from the hospice program, Bay State Hospice, is looking for hospice volunteers. Lynn has, I got to get Lynn on the show. I think I had tried to get her on one time and she got sick and that didn't happen. But anyway, she's really looking for hospice volunteers. Provide a gift of time to our hospice patients, and they have free hospice volunteer training classes. These are the kinds of volunteers that they're looking for. So if this fits you, give Lynn a call. So companions, vigil volunteers, veteran volunteers. They're looking for people who do Reiki or massage, hairdressers, Eucharistic ministers, bereavement call counts of volunteers, heart song choir singers, office volunteers. So there are all kinds of volunteers that they're looking for. So if you'd like more information, give Lynn Landry a call. Her number is 798-5452. And again, these flyers are also up at the Senior Center. Generally, I'm putting the flyers on the bulletin board when you first walk in. And then there's a window when you come in the main lobby. One of the windows has all the flyers for the Senior Center activities, and the other one has what's going on either around town or in the area. So both of the flyers that I just read off of are at the Senior Center in those locations. All right, let's take a very short break. This is a very short song in honor of National Children's Dental Health Month. There's really only one song that I could play because we sing the song every time we brush my granddaughter's teeth. It's Raffi. For those of you who are old enough like me to remember, singing Raffi songs with your children, he has a song called Brush Your Teeth. So we're going to listen to that. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. So let's listen to Raffi singing Brush Your Teeth.
When you wake up in the morning, it's 1:45, and you want to have a little fun. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. When you wake up in the morning, it's 1:45, and you want to find something to do. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. And when you wake up in the morning, it's 2:45, and your mind starts humming. Twiddle-dee-dee, you brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. When you wake up in the morning, it's 3:45, and you think you hear a knock on your door. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. When you wake up in the morning, it's 4:45, and you just can't wait to come alive. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth. You brush your teeth.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com, they are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Want to know what's trending at Westfield Technical Academy? Join host Kevin Daly and Carol Groom to find out all things Tiger. Tiger Talk, Thursdays at 8 a.m. 107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. You are indeed listening to 107.5 FM WSFD and watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning. Right now, just by ourselves with producer Pete Cole. As I'm looking around, it's really quiet here. There's like nobody else in the building. Usually I hear the custodians and culinary arts
quiet.
is coming in, but it's really quiet. Everybody's trying to,
I see a couple cars out there.
Stay under the covers. Do you? I haven't seen anybody in. All right. Well, we are at the beginning of February. That means that this past Saturday was the last Saturday of the month, and that means the Voice of Experience newsletter hit the streets over the weekend. Thank you to Barbara Martone for meeting me at the Senior Center on Saturday and getting all of our newsletters bundled and helping with delivery. Barbara's taking on more and more of the delivery, so I thank her for that. So we have a lot happening during the month of February. And before I go through some of the highlights, I want to just draw your attention. I believe I have this on page 3 of the newsletter. So there's an article entitled Mail Dilemma. I don't have a flyer on this, so I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So we get a lot of seniors who come into the senior center, and they're very nervous because they have mail that's marked, urgent, last notice, final notice, you have to do something about this. And they get nervous because sometimes it looks very official. It looks like it's from a government agency, and, there are threats, you have to do something about this, or you're going to lose your Medicare coverage, or, the IRS is coming after you. And so they'll bring it down to us and, and say, is this legitimate? Is this something that I need to worry about? So Kathy Millis, Kathy's been on the show. Kathy is the clerk and the treasurer for the Friends of the Westfield Senior Center. But Kathy also worked for the post office for many, many years. And Kathy said, there's one way to eliminate some of the concern about some of that mail. And she said, one simple way to determine whether or not you should attend to a particular notice that's mailed to you is to check and see if the envelope is labeled in the upper right-hand corner with first class or third class postage. First class mail is going to have a stamp on it, a regular stamp, or it will be labeled first class. Notices and letters that are mailed first class should be read carefully because those are probably something that's, that you need to attend to, or at least pay attention to. Third class mail uses a variety of postage options. So if you look in the corner of your envelope, it'll say things like standard mail, bulk mail, nonprofit organizations, U.S. postage paid, and other kinds of designations. But it won't be a regular, stamp. While third class mail may be legitimate, and sometimes it's, fundraising, that kind of thing. And they may be very legitimate. It may be local organizations, but it's not personal to you. And it can be recycled after you've removed and shredded your name and address. So if it's third class and they're saying it's your final notice and you're going to lose coverage, no, you're not. It's third class. It's not personal to you. Okay, may have your name on it, but that's just off of a list somewhere. So I just wanted to point that out to people because I never really thought about that. If it's personal, if it has a postage stamp and you're concerned and you want us to check it out, you can certainly bring it down there. But one way to sort of figure out what you need to pay attention to and what you don't need to pay attention to. All right, here are a few of the Senior Center highlights that we have coming up during the month of February. So our Art Unlimited class, which has become very, very popular, that's being taught by Carol Siren, and we thank Carol for her instruction because Carol is a volunteer. She's a volunteer instruction. She doesn't take payment for it. And that means all of the money that we get from Sarah Gillette, the grant for the art class, Carol uses to purchase the supplies. So all the supplies are free to the participants. And what Carol does is at the beginning of the month, she will give me she'll give me samples of whatever the projects are that you're going to be working on that month, because she runs the class as a make and take class. So you work on the project that day, and by the time the class is done, you're finished with the project, you take it home. So this Thursday, tomorrow, February 5th, and I think there are still a few slots open. You do have to pre-register because this class size is limited. But when I checked yesterday afternoon, there were still a few slots open for tomorrow's class. They're going to be doing paper crafts using miscellaneous supplies. And again, if you look in the front window, when you first walk into the senior center, you'll see a sample of, and it's really kind of cool. You'll see a sample of the paper. She did this beautiful, it's like they're flowers in a vase, and it's all paper, kind of like an origami type thing. It's beautiful. So that's happening this Thursday. And then Thursday the 19th, because generally the class meets on the first and third Thursday of the month. The participants are going to do fiber art using yarn and string. And again, she has a couple of samples of that on display. The class time is 1:30 to 3:30. Again, you do have to pre-register, and there is no charge. Next Friday, we're getting close to Valentine's Day. We're having our Share the Love special Valentine's Friday breakfast bonus. Our performer will be Mickey Hoare. You can celebrate our senior center love for one another. Mickey has been to the senior center, I think, twice now. Very popular. People asked her to come back, so we thought we'd give her our special Valentine's one. I think they're doing Belgian waffles with strawberries and cream. It's going to be fabulous. And you do have to sign up. Anytime it's a breakfast bonus, it's not a ticketed event, so you just have to do the regular sign up at least 24 hours in advance. But I think this one is going to sell out. I mean, we do cap, we have to cap our lunches and our breakfasts. So it's filling quickly, folks. So sign up. It's, there's no extra charge for the bonus. It's our regular $4 charge for the breakfast. But that's happening next Friday, the 13th. Also, the same day, we have a new class that we're going to be starting. We're excited about it. Joanne Boucher, our new assistant director, is the one who made all this happen. We're going to be doing a class called Yoga for Strength. This is a regular floor mat yoga class, not a chair yoga. It's regular floor mat yoga class. The instructor is Angelica Lopez, and Angelica is going to be doing a complimentary demonstration yoga class Friday the 13th, so next Friday, from 2 to 3 p.m. So the concentration will be on simple movements, balance improvement, and support for everyday activities. Please bring your own yoga mat. So you can either bring one, borrow one from a friend, if this is something that you just want to try out. And then starting in March, Angelica will be teaching the class on Friday afternoons. And there will be there's more in the newsletter about that. So that's happening next Friday. All right, gang. Now, we get monthly technology support from the students here at Westfield Technical Academy every month, okay? This month, it's Thursday, February 26th from 9 to 11 a.m. We don't have a lot of people signing up for this. This is one-on-one. You bring your device. You can bring your cell phone, your smartphone. You can bring a laptop. You can bring a tablet, whatever it is you have. But I'm here to tell you that I think we have a lot of seniors who don't know what they don't know. Okay? You need help. I can't tell you how many seniors we're calling, we're leaving messages. And, a lot of you have given up your landline because of the financial, burden. Understandable. But we have a lot of seniors who I am convinced do not know how to retrieve their messages. They don't know how to retrieve their voicemails on their cell phone, and therefore they don't. And so what happens is we call them, we leave messages, and then some of them know that we called, like they can see that they missed a call. And so they'll call us back and say, oh, well, I missed a call. I think the senior center called me. What did you want? Well, we left you a message. And, now we've got to leave the same message all over again because we already left that message. So please sign up for the assistance with the students. They will teach you how to retrieve your messages. They'll teach you how to get your email off your smartphone. They'll teach you all of that. You bring your own device. I can't make this any simpler for you. I mean, it's one-on-one with your own device. You can you do what I do. I sat and wrote notes. When I got my new cell phone, I signed up for it. I did it myself because I was like, it's the same brand. I got a Samsung, but this was it was a different model and newer and more updated. And I was like, okay, how do I work this? I couldn't even figure out how to shut the thing off at night. I'm like, how do I turn this off? It's not like my old phone. I had to learn all over again. You know what? A half an hour one-on-one and I was sailing. So please take advantage of this. It's free. It's right at the senior center. They do it upstairs in the learning center. So this month, the students will be there on Thursday, February 26th. That gives you plenty of time to mark your calendar, sign up with Sandra at the front desk. Bay State Hearing Aid Service, also a monthly service. Jeff Halls will be at the Senior Center on February 24th. He's always there on the last Tuesday of the month. Again, it's a free service, but you do need to sign up. He'll do accurate hearing screening, in the canal earwax inspection, hearing aid cleaning, and free minor repairs, including tubing replacements. So again, just call the Senior Center for an appointment, 562-6435. Our Diabetes Dialogue Support and Education Group, I mentioned Jen Jaffoon. She's also on this show monthly, but Jen also runs our Diabetes Dialogue Group. She is at the Senior Center also, same day as Jeff Halls with hearing. She's there in the afternoon, last Tuesday of the month. So this month it will be Tuesday, February 24th. There are no signups for Jen's group. You can just show up. This month's topic is going to be really interesting. And Jen is talking about it both on the show as well as in her Diabetes Dialogue support group. It's the government's new dietary guidelines. So we have turned the food pyramid literally upside down. So. And then finally, it's a game, it's exercise, it's nutritional information. We are bringing back bingo size. So it's hilarious. It's so much fun. We've done it before. They've extended it. It used to be a 6-week program. Now it's a 10-week program. We're doing it Wednesdays from 1 to 2 o'clock beginning on February 25th. You don't have to sign up in advance. Everyone is welcome. What it is they do bingo, they do some exercise, and there's a nutritional component. So they always have like a food demonstration, and then everybody gets a little sample of the food, whatever it is for that week. It's a lot of fun. We haven't done it now probably in about a year and a half, but we try to do it, and it's a grant-funded program, so it's all dependent on whether or not the group. I think it's Essentia. That gets the grant. But anyway, so that's exciting. So we will. So that's coming back, bingo size. So that starts on February 25th. All right, it is 7:03. I see Carol Palmer waiting in the wings. Let's take a break. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial FM, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. We'll take our top of the hour break, and when we come back, we'll have Carol and our student intern, Anna.
Support for the community programming provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:07. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you are watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and it suddenly has gotten crowded in here. So Carol Palmer, our group exercise instructor at the Westfield Senior Center, joins us on the first Wednesday of the month for her Live Your Best Life segment. And Carol, of course, I forgot to wear red. I had it out. I know. I had it out. Well, I also had out all my Patriots gear. Pete and I have not talked about the fact that, Super Bowl Sunday is this week.
Yes, exactly.
I said to Grace last night, I said, start thinking about what food we're having. It's just the baby's not going to be with us, which I'm, kind of glad. Although she was there for the playoffs and was screaming her head off when, we won because we were all screaming. And she thought, oh my gosh, you're allowed to scream inside. This is great fun. How great is this? But anyway, so I said we have to start planning our food and, and all of that good stuff. So that's exciting. But also we have Valentine's Day coming up.
Yes.
So yeah. So
hence my
hence her head attire, her headgear.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question for Pete.
Okay, go. Lay it on us.
So Pete,
Yes.
Is it green that you're not supposed to wear?
Yes.
Doggone it, because I have all my stuff for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yes, it's green that you're not supposed to wear because we...
If you want to just be a floating head, that's fine. We can do that.
But we don't
It might be fun.
But we don't use that background. We use our own background, Pete. But
No, I'm just saying,
Oh.
if she wore green, the only thing...
I did that
would be
once.
invisible.
I did that once.
You
And
did?
I did, and it actually matched the wall. It was lime. It wasn't just green. It
You
was
keyed
lime
out.
green. I did. I keyed out. It was the dumbest thing. And I have like one lime green top. I have no idea why I wore
Well,
it.
that's okay. We'll wear red for St. Joseph's Day, which is also in March.
St. Joseph's Day.
Which is
Okay,
the Italian holiday.
Oh,
I mean, you
okay,
can wear
yes.
green. It might be interesting to have you as a floating head.
I can't even imagine Carol as a floating head. But if you wear a print, you could do that, like flashy, printy, greeny stuff, and or you can load yourself down. I think last year you wore lots of green beading.
Yes.
If you recall.
Yes.
Like the cheap beads. All right. And so we also have a guest who we're going to let her just kind of chill out and watch for 5 minutes and before we start putting poor Anna on the spot. So this is Anna Collier. Anna is an intern at the Senior Center this semester. She's a graduate student at Western New England University. I still want to say Western New England College.
I know.
And I still call it Winnick because you can't call it WinU. That just sounds really stupid.
Do they
No, it's
call it?
Winu.
WinU? Is that what they call it, Pete? WinU?
Yes.
I don't
They
know.
call it that now?
Do they?
No.
Sort of. No, they don't, Pete. So
Weird.
So we're not in the know. All right. So welcome, Anna. We'll get to know you a little bit better. I have some more announcements to make because we have so much stuff going on. I just didn't have enough time to get to all this. So first of all, remember, folks, we are doing taxes. It's tax time, which is I feel like that's all I'm doing. But so just a reminder, please watch the taxes, changes, and what you need to know, which is this month's. It was last month's, and it's also this month's. We run it for 2 months on what our protocols are for tax season if you want to have your taxes done at the Senior Center. But also the first half of that, we kind of divided it by the half. So the first half of it, Dan Welsh, who's our AARP local tax coordinator, discusses some of the new tax guidelines, the big, beautiful bill, what that means for you. For seniors, it's probably going to be a good thing for some of you. So Dan goes into that first half, and then the second half of that program, I kind of review the protocol. And I have to say, we are training our Westfield seniors well because a lot of them who have, had their taxes done with us before, we are now into our 4th year of the tax phone line, the protocols, come in and get your packet, get everything ready. And people are doing it because it works. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine at this point. So
as long as you're there, it is.
Well, for now anyway. I know Dan Welch told me that when I decide to retire, which of course we all know that'll be never, but that I have to give him 2 years notice.
And me too, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, we still have appointments available. So we are scheduling now mid-March. We are totally booked for, I think, Kathy Millis is helping out with that. Thank you to Kathy, because Carol Shannon's been out sick. So Kathy's been scheduling the appointments, and we are now, February's full. March 2nd and March 5th now, I believe, are full, and I think March 12th maybe, or maybe 1 or 2 appointments. So we're beyond that. So just know that, so that if you call and you say, no, I really wanted an appointment in 2 weeks, you're not going to get one. So we do the best we can, but understand that we do close to 500 returns. It's a big deal. All right, a couple of other announcements before we switch out here. Mexican Trained Dominoes, we started a group on Thursday afternoons from 1 to 3, and it's going gangbusters. I'm really excited about how well this group is doing.
Mexican
Trained Dominoes. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
I heard of it because somebody had come to me pre-COVID when Mary Lou Najolski was our program director, came to Mary Lou and me and said he wanted to start this group. So we said, okay, what do you need? They needed Mexican Trained Dominoes. There's like a kit. It's not just regular Dominoes. So there's a thing. So we got a couple of them, and then nobody proceeded to play. So we put that on the shelf, and then Reggie and Edic Malian came to Joanne, I think, and Mike last month and said, we want to start this group. They, of course, didn't have the history of knowing that we had tried and it was unsuccessful. But my feeling is always it's all about timing. So just because it didn't work 5 or 6 years ago doesn't mean. And I knew with Reggie and Ed doing it, I knew it would be consistent, you know?
Yeah.
And they recruited some of their own people, which is great too. Ed is one of our board members on the Council on Aging Board of Directors. So I peeked in last week and they had 2 full tables in there. They do it in the great room.
Yeah.
They use the big round tables.
Okay.
And I was really happy about that.
Do they have a training? I mean, can you learn to?
Yeah, you can. They will. They are teaching. We have one of the participants in there is legally blind, and they're working with her and they're teaching her. And yeah, you can be a novice. You don't have to if you want to just watch the first time. But they are really great. And Ed and Reggie split, so one's at one table helping and one's at the other table helping.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, it's going great. So it's Thursdays 1 to 3. No signups or anything. Yeah, right. Chess with Les on Wednesdays. My chess guys are always looking for more chess players. We don't have a lot of women. Where are all the women? I know there are women chess players. So
no patience.
It's honestly
No
right.
patience.
And this is my favorite group that we run at the senior center because they're quiet. They never complain about anything. You go in there, it's like a library.
Wow.
Because they're all concentrating. They're all sitting there with their just looking. Mm-hmm. Wednesdays 1 to 3. Excuse me. Novice and experienced players are welcome. You can come and just watch if you want to, for the first. We find that a lot of times it's people who haven't played in a long time.
Yeah. I know my husband would love to play, but he can't. He's not retired yet. So,
not retired.
But when he does, I'll get him in there.
Excuse me. All right, one last announcement, then we'll take a break, and then we're going to bring Anna into this conversation. Our Write from the Heart group is a writing group. They meet on Wednesdays from 1:30 to 3. They're always looking for people. Donna Herman is the facilitator. Most of the writing is done at home, and then they kind of listen to each other. It's a great group. It's small, and they would like more members. So again, no signups or anything. Every Monday, 1:30 to 3 o'clock. All right. Let's take a break, and then we're going to bring Anna into the conversation. We're going to learn all about her and this research project that she's working hard on. So this song, Carol, it's just for you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So it is February's National Library Lovers Month.
Oh.
So I thought to myself, I have to come up with a library song.
Oh.
So.
And then you booked it.
Carol, I love you. So Carol is a show person, Anna. In case you don't know, she is very active in the Westfield Women's Theater Group. And so the first song that I thought of was from The Music Man.
Right.
Marion, the librarian. Did you do The Music Man?
I did.
And what part did you play?
I played Eulalie McKechnie Shin, the mayor's wife.
Oh, the mayor's wife.
Yes.
Well, my brother was the lead in his senior year in high school. So I know the lyric to every song of Music Man.
Yes.
There are some tough lyrics.
Well, Rock was the lead in the Westfield.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in honor of Rock and my brother Dave Siklosi and National Library Lovers Month, we're going to listen to Marion the Librarian by Robert Preston.
Marion, Madam Librarian. Oh, what can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion. Madam Librarian. Oh, what can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marion, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing it. In the moonlight, and a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song, with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, it's a long-lost cause I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marion. Madam Librarian.
Support for community programming provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. Visit bettsplumbing.com or 14 Coleman Avenue, Westfield. Public welcome.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:20. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial and watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board, Pete Coles, behind the glass, our chief engineer, Carol Palmer. Carol is our group exercise instructor at the Westfield Senior Center. And Carol joins us on the first Wednesday of every month to discuss her Live Your Best Life segment. And by the way, I'm going to do a little commercial here for Carol before I move on to Anna. Early spring fitness signups are happening next week at the Senior Center. So Carol teaches our Totally Fun Fitness class.
Yes.
That's one where you have to pre-register, and it's a 10-week class, or about 10 weeks, 8 weeks. It's about 8 weeks. And then Terry Summers teaches our 3 chair yoga classes, different levels of chair yoga classes. And that's another one they have to pre-register. So the signups for Terry's class start next Wednesday at 1:45 and Carol's class start next Thursday at 1:45. That's in the newsletter. The new schedule I posted yesterday. So the flyer with all of the classes, Carol's class is the dates, Terry's class is the dates, and then we've added beginner line dancing. We did that as a pilot in January. It's very successful, so we're adding that as a class. And I also put in the schedule the complimentary class that the yoga class that Angelica Lopez is going to be doing next Friday, and then her class will start in March, and then we'll add. I think I actually did put that on the schedule, saying started March 6th. So all of that is at the greeters desk. So just ask Sandra Fisher, who is our official receptionist and greeter, for that information. But I just wanted to alert people to signups because they're popular classes and they do fill up, and we do have capacities because the room is only so big. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going to focus our attention on Anna Collier. Anna is a graduate student at Western New England University. As I said earlier, she's in the occupational therapy program. So Anna, welcome to the show. You need to move up. I forgot to do this. You have to talk right into the mic. That's the only thing. Sorry about that. Still getting settled here, folks. So, Anna, when I have a new guest on the show, in order to kind of just, make everybody feel a little like breathing, I just start with a little bit of background. So we don't know anything about you. So we start with where are you from? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? How did you decide on occupational therapy? So let's start with where did you grow up?
So I'm actually from Westfield. I grew up in Westfield, and so did my husband. But unfortunately, we both live in Agawam now.
Okay, now
we will be coming back.
So now, did you know your husband growing up, or did you meet after that?
We met after high school. We knew who each other were, but we didn't really meet in high school because Westfield's so big.
Yeah.
He was a grade above me, but we both grew up in Westfield and went to a lot of the same elementary schools. My mom was a teacher in Westfield for 35 years.
Okay, so to slow down. Let's just dive into this because Carol and I are nosy. We need to know these things. Yes. So first of all, Mom was a teacher. Where did she teach?
So she taught at Juniper Park when that was an elementary school.
We remember it well. That's the one that was over by the college.
Right. Yep. So she taught 1990s first grade, as she calls it.
Okay.
It's different than 2000s first grade.
I love your mom already. Yeah.
And she taught kindergarten. And she ended her career teaching kindergarten.
Oh, so she's retired now.
Yep, she's retired.
Now, was she at Juniper Park that whole time, or did she teach at some other schools as well?
She was at Juniper, and then when Juniper closed and they rented the Russell building for a year, then she was at Russell. And
God, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was a fun transition.
Yeah,
I'll bet.
Sure.
I helped move out her classroom. That was wild. And then when that school closed, she ended her career at Franklin.
What's her name?
So some people know her as Kara Stewart. That is my maiden name. Mm-hmm. And most people know her now as Kara Iserman.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's Mom. And where did you go to school?
So I went to Juniper Park. Then I was a part of that Highland transition when they shipped all the the 4th and 5th graders to Highland for 2 years. Then I went to South Middle School, North Middle School, and I went to Westfield High.
And Westfield High School. Okay.
Yeah. And what year did you graduate, Anna?
2018.
2018. Okay.
2018. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
just trying to figure out if she went to school with any of my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandkids.
Yeah, great-kids. Right, exactly. Okay. So from high school, you graduated from Westfield High School. And then what did you do after that?
So I went to HCC first because I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to land. I knew I wanted to be in healthcare, and I knew I wanted to help make people independent and be involved in their care. I just didn't know where to start. Okay. So I went to HCC.
Wise choice, by the way. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, shout out to my mom and my stepdad and my dad for telling me to do that because I didn't originally want to go. I wanted to be like everybody else and go away to school, and they told me I wouldn't like it. They were right.
Well, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the benefits of a community college, which I've done on this show, and HCC in particular. I think it's a great opportunity, especially for students who really don't exactly know what they want to do. You can get a lot of your prerequisites done. It's affordable. it works. And that affordability gives you some opportunities maybe down the road for, maybe a school that's a little bit more expensive or maybe graduate school down the road. So, yeah,
exactly.
Good choice.
Like I loved it. And then I transferred to Westfield State and did their movement science program. When I was trying to figure out PT versus OT, did I maybe want to go to PA school? Like I was just trying to figure out where I wanted to
So was that whole medical sort of health-related wellness. Now, did you have Dr. Rohde, Melissa Rohde? When you were in the movement science program at Westfield State, or no?
No, I didn't have her. I had Dr. Cacalis, Dr. Higgins, I had Dr. Noun.
Okay.
That I only did 2 years of the movement science program, and a lot of it was COVID. A lot of
that explains
it. Was 2020 to 2022, lots of online, or we had a couple classes in the big gym with our desks all being 6 to 8 feet apart. So it was a very different experience of the movement science program. And then I graduated in 2022.
Okay.
And I graduated in December, but I wasn't starting OT school until 2023.
So at that point, so I'm curious, Anna, as to how you determine, because you said you had considered PA and you'd considered PT and some other, how did you decide on OT?
So, again, I'm going to shout out my mother. She was telling me that she thought I would be a really good OT. And she got me set up with one of the OTs for the city of Westfield in the public schools. And I shadowed her for about 8 months, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I ended up really loving it because I was working in the public schools with elementary school kids, I
had this conversation with Mike Squinda, the director, yesterday. We were talking about Anna coming on the show. And I said, I taught in the rehab department at Springfield College for many years. And I taught courses in gerontology. And I had a lot of OT students. And I would start my class on the first day saying, okay, well, how many of you are occupational therapy students? So we would have a fair number. I said, how many of you occupational therapy students want to work with older adults? Maybe on a good semester. On a good semester, I might get 2. Sometimes it was 1. Sometimes it was none. Then I would say, how many of you want to do OT with children?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to work with kids. And I said, okay, how many of you want to get a job when you get out of here? Well, of course, everybody did. I said, well, the field of gerontology is opening up as the baby boomers age.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but anyway, so.
I mean, I loved peds. Before, when I still do. When I went to OT school, my mind was, I'm going to do peds. I'm going to be a peds OT. I had a great experience at Westfield Public Schools. Specifically, I was at Franklin and Highland. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of ties there, a lot of my mom's friends, a lot of teachers that I had.
Sure.
So I got to see them as an adult. But then I started OT school. In Western New England, it's very different because we have a pro bono OT clinic at the school. Mm-hmm. And on the second week of OT school, you're starting to work with clients. Mm-hmm. Like you get your cases and you have, we have an OT that supervises us and we have to submit our treatment plans and get them all signed off. And I had this one client who was a stroke survivor, and that was my second week of OT school. And I was like, yeah, I want to work with adults. Okay. This is my jam.
Okay. Good. All right. So that's how we ended up at Western New England. And then, so your undergraduate degree is actually in movement science from Westfield State. So that's what that is. And then you started the occupational therapy program when officially?
I started September 23 and I graduated December 22. So I'm untraditional doing my undergrad in 4.5 years because I was just trying to figure it out. And then I had 8 months off because it was a fall
you were
start
kind
program.
Of in between, yeah.
So I just...
And now the program that you're in now, do you go summers for that or no?
Yep. So you do fall, a spring, a summer, and those are all classes. Another fall, another spring. So 5 didactic semesters. Your second summer semester is your first level 1 field work.
Yep.
So I was at Loomis at Reed's Landing in Springfield for 3 months working in the skilled nursing side. But I also had a lot of patients from the independent living and the assisted living that may come down for short-term rehab if they've had a fall or they got sent out to the hospital. And then you do another fall semester. I was at Holyoke Public Schools for 3 months. Mm-hmm. Both of those experiences were absolutely incredible, but really also led me to where I wanted to end up in my capstone. Like my Loomis experience showed me what I need to do to be successful working with older adults. And then the Holyoke Public Schools really showed me how to create games and materials with limited
Resources,
limited supplies, limited funding, how to make something.
It's what we do. It's if you are in the helping profession, if you're working, I mean, we work with and I always say, we work on a shoestring budget. You're trying to do more with less always.
Yeah, we ran out of white construction paper on my last week of field work, and I needed white construction paper, and I didn't know what to do. So I glued a piece of printer paper to one side of orange construction paper. Then we had white construction paper again.
That's what you have to do. All right, let's take a short break. If you're just joining me this morning, my guests are Carol Palmer, our group exercise instructor at the Senior Center, teaching our Totally Fun Fitness class, and our student intern who's at the center 5 days a week, right, Anna?
Yep.
Monday through Friday. Anna is a graduate student in the occupational therapy program at Western New England University, doing her capstone project. And we're going to talk about Anna's research project when we come back and kind of solicit your help with that. Who doesn't want to help this young person who's so enthusiastic about this? So let's take a short break. So, I always try to have my songs relate to something that we're discussing. So in your case, we're talking about strokes. We're going to talk about that research project, which have to do with strokes. So I found, Pete and I love Weird Al Yankovic. Do you know Weird Al? You do, right?
I sure do.
Okay, well, anyway, he has a song called The Brain Song. So that's what we're going to listen to. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you are watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. We got to listen to Weird Al talking about the brain. We'll be back.
You see, your brain is divided into two hemispheres. Yeah. Your left controls your right side and your right controls your left side. And they're both tied together in a neat little package by the totally awesome corpus callosum. Well, you peel away that meninges layer, wipe off that cerebrospinal fluid, and you're looking right at the four lobes of the brain. You know the ones I'm talking about? Say it with me now. Got a very special job, yeah, each one knows exactly what to do. As you're watching my disembodied head, your rods and cones are sending that stimuli to your thalamus, which routes it to your occipital lobe, which of course processes visual information. As you're listening to these words right here, the vibrations of the cilia down in your ears are sending those impulses along to your temporal lobe. And I know right now you're probably thinking, Al, how can these different parts of the brain communicate with each other? Well, to answer that question, I'm gonna have to break it down to a microscopic level. This is a neuron, a funky neuron. You got your axon on the one side, you got your dendrites on the other. See, the dendrites receive a signal from another neuron, which then starts a chemical reaction in the nucleus, creating a nerve impulse which travels down a long mile-encoded strand, where it hits neurotransmitter molecules in the vesicle of the axon terminal. And those neurotransmitters jump a millionth of an inch across the synaptic gap and smash into the receptors of the dendrites of another neuron, connecting neuron to neuron to neuron to neuron all across your entire brain. The more you use your brain, the more connections you're gonna make, and the smarter you're gonna be. I'm talking about your brain. You gotta hand it to your brain. Yeah, that's your brain.
So I guess the point of all this is, the brain is one of the most important organs in your entire head. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, always wear a helmet. That's all I'm really trying to say here. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for coming. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Underwriting for the community programming is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here. Join us the second Wednesday of every month for Joe Didi's take on, well, everything. Listen to The Joe Didi Show, second Wednesday of every month at 8 a.m. 107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:36. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial, and you're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. The comedy show across from me is going strong this morning. My guests are, Carol Palmer. Carol is our group exercise instructor and resident comedian at the Westfield Senior Center. You know, I've often said that Carol is Carol's a combination of Carol Burnett and Bette Midler. It's the red hair and the comedy.
I love them both.
I know, so do I. And my other guest this morning is not as crazy as Carol and much younger than the two of us. And that is Anna Collier. Anna is a student a graduate student at at Western New England University. Sorry, she graduated from Westfield State with her undergraduate degree. She's now at Western New England University studying occupational therapy, finishing up, right? So you'll graduate in May.
Yeah, I'm graduating in May. It's really exciting.
So
let's have a party.
Well, any excuse for a party. We do parties pretty much at the Senior Center for everything. I've actually started planning my 70th birthday because my 69th birthday comes up this year. And I was thinking, well, my 70th birthday then is next year. When I turned 60, I threw myself a huge party at the Senior Center.
Oh,
and it
you
was
did?
Because then I was officially no, it was pre-COVID, and I was officially a senior by Massachusetts standards.
Right.
So 60 and older is a senior. So I threw myself this great party, and my husband asked me what I wanted for my 60th birthday, and I said I want my college roommate here, Linda, who's also crazy. I said, I want Linda at my party. She lives in Virginia, so Gary flew her up, and she was at the party. And her hobby is photography. I'll have to show you the book. It's in my office. So she took all these pictures and then made a book for me.
Okay,
that's
hold
in
on.
my office.
So you're going to be 70 next year.
Next year. So 2027. I was born in 57.
And
what about you?
I'm going to be 80.
I know. That's what I thought. You were 10 years. And
47, yeah.
And the mayor is 5 years younger than me because when I celebrated my 65th birthday, it was COVID time. So we were curbside. And we celebrated his 60th because he was now a senior. So he came. We had this big, curbside. And Karen Noble was retiring that year. So we did it all in like one big party.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, so if I'm turning 70, he's turning 65, so now he'll be Medicare eligible. And I was trying to determine if he'll still be mayor then. Because I thought, oh, great, we'll do another party. And you're going to be
80.
Get out of town.
Be 80.
You're my new idol. Really? 80. She's amazing. That's amazing. So, we are throwing the biggest party in 2027. That's going to be great.
That'll be
all right.
so much fun.
So now that we've talked about all that, Anna is working on a research project, your capstone project for your program. So you talk quickly, just like I do, especially when you get excited, just like I do. So I want you to slow it down a little bit and tell us about what the project is and how we can help.
So it's a stroke survivor support group, but it's designed more from an educational standpoint and a physical activity health management standpoint. I wanted to design the group like that because what I found on my field work at Loomis at Reed's Landing and talking to a lot of the OTs that I had been working with and had like my professors at the school and doing research in the form of a literature review, there's a lot of gaps in care from when you leave the hospital and the rehab facilities. You go home, you may qualify for home health, but what happens after that? What's there? And a lot of communities have a local senior center that can provide a lot of resources for them, but it's making them aware. And this is what I wanted to do because a lot of the clients at our pro bono clinic are stroke survivors, and I developed a passion for helping them become independent. My favorite client, I helped him open a water bottle for the first time after 7 years.
Oh, yeah. It's tricky.
And, he had his stroke a decade before, and he received help from the rehab centers and home health. But like I said, what happens after that? So I wanted to design this. It's a unique 6-week group with 6 different topics every week. They'll do a pre and a post survey determining the pre-survey. I have one question. What topics are you interested in learning about? Sleep, health management, physical activity, carnival games, if nutrition, what topics are you interested in learning about, and what can I do for you? And I have all 6-week groups. I'm working on them being created. I have 4 groups designed right now, just ready to go.
In terms of when you say the group, so in terms of the content that you're going to be covering in your groups.
Yes.
So you're going to be facilitating this.
Yep.
You're going to run it as sort of as an educational. So this is, will you have, handouts, or how what's your vision for that, Anna?
I have a handout and an activity for every single session, but then the support is also going to be there, because I've been to support groups for other topics, and I found that while the emotional support group piece is very helpful, I wanted an educational piece and an educational component as well. And what can they learn to help continue to be independent at home? And this is all about a mental health standpoint. Like, the social participation aspect is huge. So I'll be giving a handout every week. I'll be giving we'll be doing activities, like 1 week physical activity. I learned how to play air hockey with a box of tissues and a couple of bean bags over the summer.
Okay.
Because we didn't have an air hockey table, but we had some bean bags and tissue boxes.
Yep.
And I had one survivor who he had hemiparesis, which is weakness on one side of his body. He was able to hold the tissue box with the other side of his body and stabilize his affected side, and we could play air hockey.
Yeah.
A great idea.
I think that, I was talking to Mike Squindo about this the other day, and I was trying to figure out, I've been in this field. I can't believe how long I've been in this field, over 45 years. And I had this conversation with my next door neighbor who gets meals from us, who's in his 90s. He's a retired pharmacist. We were talking about how far we've come and how different things are now. I started in the field in 1979. And when someone had a stroke, they were hospitalized for a week to 2 weeks, They went to a nursing home. Oftentimes that was it. They went to a nursing home, and they stayed in a nursing home. I told Mike the first skilled nursing facility, which was a euphemism back then, that I worked at, in 2 years, 2 people were discharged home. That was it. Because there weren't a lot of options. We didn't have a lot of in between. If you had a stroke and you had, say you were paralyzed on one side, you had the option of living at home and having one of your kids move in with you, moving in with one of your kids, or going to a nursing home.
Yeah.
That was it. There were no assisted living. There were no different levels of care. There was no social day care, adult day health. There was none of that. And, and here's a really interesting story about a stroke. My grandmother had a stroke. By today's standard, she had some TIAs, but it wasn't until after the fact that you kind of realize, which are the mini strokes, the transient ischemic attacks. And I was telling Mike this story the other day. She was hospitalized after having I would call it a minor stroke, all right, in the hospital, being seen by the neurologist. So this was in 1981, I think. While he was examining her, she had a massive stroke, all right? While he was examining her, she's sitting in a chair, massive stroke. So in 1981, what they could do was nothing. He called in the nurses, and all they could do was keep her safe. They didn't want her to fall out of the chair. That stroke left her paralyzed on one side, very limited speech, on and on and on. But the fact of the matter was, there was no TPA. There were no blood, clot busters. There was no, now we talk about the signs of a stroke because we talk about how important it is to get to a hospital as quickly as possible. And, and now we know there are different neuro pathways. There are, through physical therapy and occupational therapy and good nursing care and good care being provided at home. People can relearn. But in those days, it was like, you lost it, that's it, you're done. That part of your brain is dead, that's it. So we've come so far, I think, on what we know about strokes. This kind of a program 40 years ago would have been unheard of, because it would have just been like, no, suck it up. You have to learn how to do everything one-handed.
Used to be, he had a stroke. Well, that was it.
And everybody kind of went, oh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Because it was kind of like a death sentence back then.
Right.
You know?
There's so many ways to relearn how to do activities, one-handed techniques. And what I've also found in my literature review is like 30% of people develop post-stroke depression because they think they're not able to complete activities again.
Right.
Like I was telling the story about the man who wanted to play air hockey. That's what he wanted to do, and I figured out a way to do it with a one-handed technique. And this group also started because of my faculty mentor, Dr. Alexis Morin. She started a stroke survivor support group at Western New England. But I wanted to bring one to the senior center because I was told by Mike's Window, a lot of people from the hill towns go to the Westfield Senior Center. What's out there for them? What do they have?
Yep.
And I wanted to bring that, I wanted to design a program and bring a community together. And also talk about stroke prevention, because with diet, exercise, just having physical activity, knowing the signs, how to take care of yourself, that can really help with the stroke prevention as well, which is another huge educational piece of every single group. How is the topic that we're talking about this week relate to stroke prevention?
Yeah. Interesting that, I when I was doing rehab at over in Agawam for a time, I was working with a physiatrist. We used to have family meetings, and he said with folks who had strokes, the family was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Always. It's like, okay, when is the next one coming? So I think that's a super important piece. All right, if you're just joining me, my guests this morning are Carol Palmer. Carol's our group exercise instructor at the Westfield Senior Center, and Anna Collier. Anna's a student intern. She's an occupational therapy graduate student at Western New England University, doing her capstone research project on strokes and educating folks about strokes and management of post-stroke. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Anna, I want you to talk about the kinds of people who you think you're looking for to participate in this group, and letting people know this is a free of charge group. There's no charge for this. Anna's going to be running it starting in March. So this is kind of our recruitment effort to help her to get folks that would really benefit from this. So we're going to hone in on that when we come back. This is a really interesting song. So this is called the Stroke Song. It's by Ari Williams. Ari Williams was at that time in medical school working on, he wanted to do a fellowship in neurology. So this was a project that he did for his schooling and his education. He wrote this song and sings this song. It's called the Stroke Song. We'll be back.
If you're gonna have a stroke, you gotta know the signs. We'll walk it note by note, so you can make the time. If you're gonna have a stroke, we'll walk it note by note. You gotta know the signs, so you can make the time. If you got slurred speech, feel weak, can't see, sleepy, odd face, numbness, mumbling wacky phrase. If you're gonna have a stroke, you gotta know the signs. We'll walk it note by note, so you can make the time. If you're gonna have a stroke, we'll walk it note by note. You gotta know the signs, so you can make the time. To tell the doc, hey, 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 I need TPA within 4 to 5 hours from when this changed your day. If you're late to the door, I'll have you know, within 24, unclog the cloud with the weave wire winding up through your blood vessel. If you're gonna have a stroke, you gotta know the signs. We'll walk it note by note, so you can make the time. If you're gonna have a stroke, we'll walk it note by note. You gotta know the signs, so you can make the time.
Support for community radio provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:52. You are indeed listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial and watching WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I have two guests this morning. Carol Palmer is our first Wednesday of the month regular for her Live Your Best Life segment. Carol is our group exercise instructor at the Senior Center, and we are welcoming local resident Anna Collier. Anna is a graduate student in the occupational therapy program at Western New England University. She's interning at the Senior Center this semester. She is working on her capstone project. We have to help her because she needs to graduate in May. She needs to go out and get a real job because now you're married. How long have you been married? Right?
I got married in March.
Yeah, I knew it was soon, but it was
Almost
recently
a year.
because her email address still
Absolutely.
has her maiden name. Look at her. She got married in March. March what? So March
22nd.
So March 22nd will be the one year anniversary?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So Anna is working on this project. She's starting an educational group for stroke, those who have had strokes. Now, you have some, the one parameter, they have to, people to participate in your program, they have to be at least 50. Correct, 50 or older, and they have to have had their strokes no sooner than 2 months ago. So it's at least 2 months ago. So it could be you had your stroke 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago,
10 years
10
ago?
years ago. Okay, but not 6 weeks ago because that's a little too recent. All right, so that's what we're looking for. What else are you looking for, Anna? Who else do you think will benefit from this that we want to bring in?
I think any stroke survivor that is 2 months post-stroke that wants to become independent again. And the reason why I picked 2 months post-stroke is usually you have that couple month period after your stroke where you've gone to a hospital, you've gone to a rehab center. And I wanted to really address the individuals who that is now all done. The rehab center, maybe they had a little bit of home health, but this is also going to be available on Zoom too. So if anybody cannot, if transportation's an issue, just getting out of the house may have some barriers. Zoom is also going to be an option. I'm going to do my absolute best to make my activities Zoom friendly.
Right. So things that people can also do at home if they're doing it, Zoom wise.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
And another reason why I keep talking about the air hockey, but another reason why I design a program like that, because if you have like a box of tissues, or if you don't have a ball or a bean bag, do you have a small little object that you can push back and forth and kind of simulating activities like what it's like to wipe down a table, getting people independent again. So my parameters...
Or more independent. I'm going to throw that one out there, too, because you were talking about the gentleman that you had worked with who was able to open up the water bottle. Because I think a lot of people, you learn sort of how to survive. I mean, you're making it. But how can we improve the quality of life and maybe make you more independent and maybe able to do things that right now are a struggle and make them a little bit easier. So here's what I got out of the flyer. I redid this. So promotion of overall wellness, because you looked at physical and emotional and self-care. And the other thing that I did want to mention, Anna, that you hadn't said, but this is on your flyer. So this group is appropriate for people who have had mini strokes or TIAs, all the way to more severe strokes and kind of everything in between, because we know that strokes are they're all over the place.
Yes.
They can be considered very mild. Sometimes somebody will say, "Oh, I had a stroke," and you'll say, "Oh, I did." There's no visual residual. Their face isn't drooping or anything like that. Okay, so all types of strokes. Participants are going to learn health management skills, including physical activity. You mentioned that. Self-care and emotional well-being.
Yes.
And, we talked about the fact that that oftentimes any kind of a chronic illness is going to bring that period of sadness, the blues, the blahs, I don't feel like getting out of bed. We often see that for a whole variety of reasons. So all those will be addressed. I put down as additional benefits that I see. This is not necessarily on your flyer, but first of all, engaging with others in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We do that in our support groups at the senior center. And I've always said that sometimes just, being in a group with others in the same boat, whether you're Zooming in or whether you're sitting there and, you're right next to that person, you really can say, I know what it feels like. I know what you're going through. Anna can't say that. She doesn't know what you're going through. She doesn't know what it feels like. I can't say that. I've never had a stroke. But, these two people who have, you can say that. So I think in the same boat, learning how to cope with the challenges of having had a stroke, and recognizing that it's for every person who's had a stroke, there's one person who's had a stroke. I mean, because it's not just the area of the brain that's affected. It's what's the setup of your home? Yeah. Some person may have same stroke, same area of the brain affected. My house is accessible. It's all on one floor. I don't have any stairs. My doorways are wide. Somebody else, bathroom is upstairs. Yeah. Bedroom is upstairs. Laundry's down in the basement. And I live by myself. So, those are two entirely different scenarios that, you've got to adjust to. And then, I think the other piece of it, and clearly Anna has seen this in both the clinic as well as working with Loomis, people who have had strokes often have other things that have happened. They may have diabetes, they may have a heart condition, they may have, gout. I mean, who knows? There are all kinds of comorbidities is what we call them, but other illness or emotional challenges. Somebody who has been depressed for a long time outside of any of the illnesses, maybe just a history of that, or maybe a history of that in the family. We just talked about accessibility of the home, family and supports, like what's your support system, and where do you live? Anna mentioned going to the Hilltowns. She was talking about that off air. People from the Hilltowns are welcome to participate. You don't have to just be a member of the Westfield Senior Center. If you're not a member, we'll make you a member if you're going to join Anna's group. But, how challenging or how easy or difficult is it if you're out in the Hilltowns and you're 3 miles from anybody and your only mode of transportation is by automobile and you don't drive now, And then what about your medical care or not? Some people have had great medical care. Anna you mentioned before, home health. Not everybody got that. Yeah. Depending on when you had your stroke, maybe there wasn't anything available. Or, what if you had your insurance? Insurance. We live by insurance, and your insurance didn't cover it. So, Anna, one question that I did have that's not on your flyer, we're going to talk about, I'm going to have you talk about the dates and when the group is run. How many people, how many people are you envisioning for this group, just to give people an idea?
I would like to have about 15 people to really have like a whole, like a true circle.
Sort of a nice dynamic.
Yes. Okay. And I would like 15 people to also... 15 people means 15 different strokes, 15 different experiences.
Okay.
And then maybe there might sets of 2 to 3 people might be able to relate to each other more.
Okay.
I welcome any amount of participants. I'm hoping for 15. If I had more than that, woohoo.
Okay. All right. So you're okay with more, and
yes.
We'll see what happens.
And if I had less than that, rock on.
Okay.
It's okay.
And we're running out of time. So the group meets, it's going to be Tuesday mornings. Is that right?
Yep. Tuesday mornings from March 3rd to April 7th.
All right. So is that 6 sessions? Is that what we have going?
That's 6 sessions from 10:30 to 11:30. Okay. You can also meet on Zoom if you are unable to come in person. And if you can't come in person and aren't a member of the Westfield Senior Center, you just have to fill out the membership form and join.
And we can even do that over the telephone.
Oh, yes.
You don't have to come down. Anna, how do people sign up for this? If somebody's watching or listening and they say, and by the way, folks, please spread the word. It may not be for you, but you know a friend, you know a neighbor, your sister, somebody else. So how do they say, I'm interested, I want to join the group? What do they do?
So you can contact the Westfield Senior Center. I have my flyer that has my email on it that I have posted all over Western Mass community forums. I've posted them all over the Western Mass Senior Centers. If you contact me at anna.stewart@wne.edu.
Yeah, that's on the flyer.
Yep.
If you don't think of anything else, call the Senior Center, 562-6435. All right, we are out of time. Thank you to my guest this morning, Anna Collier. You just said Stewart, so it threw me, but that's her maiden name.
That's my maiden name. They didn't change my email address.
Anna
Shocker.
Collier and Carol Palmer, thank you for joining us. Thank you for this information about stroke. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial. You're watching WCPC Cable Channel 15, and I will see you next week. And go Pats!
People are strange when you're a stranger.